Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
All right, this video is going to be about the vilification of the black man. This is what our society has turned to, with our people turning against our people when other races is holding down their people when they have these indiscretions that I don't agree with. Under no circumstances, this is not to defend anyone's accused behavior. This is just to show you how our people have succumbed to try and tear down each other as we rise to the top. All right. All right, Unique Mecca Audio, man, I'm here. Let me tell you about how I spent my weekend, and I'm going to be honest. I was very disappointed scrolling through YouTube. I just put in PDiddy in the search, and it looks like thousands of videos came up with our people attacking PDiddy, and then I put in JayZ, and I see the same thing. We have a young lady, we have a young lady named Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright, right? She seems to be out to tear down the black man, is the way I see it. I may be right. I'm not trying to disrespect Miss Jaguar Wright under no circumstances. If I'm wrong, I will be man enough to come on here and apologize. But this is how I see it. Jaguar Wright went up there and she started talking about JayZ. She's accusing JayZ of the SA. You know what that is. And, the R word. I couldn't believe what I saw. I want to know, when did our people turn into the crab in the barrel syndrome? Meaning, as one of our black men make it out, not only our black women, but our black men attack them as well. And slander them. I even seen defamation of men's character. We have no black billionaires that came from our generation that made it out of the crab barrels that we was raised in. I poisoned my community 30 years ago. And I served 26 years in federal prison for poisoning my community. And again, I will apologize for that. I gave 26 years of my life being taken away from my children. My youngest daughter was 18 months when I got locked up. I come out of jail, she was 27 going on 28. Now, I wouldn't wish that on anyone of any race, much less my own race. Now, we have these black men, we have a handful of black men that made it to the billionaire status, or close to it, so that, we don't have to have the rat bastards say, oh, this one is not a billionaire yet, so therefore, you wrong. Because that's what rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls do. And that's why I give them gunshots. You know what I mean? Just to keep it 100. Now, Jaguar Wright went up there and she made so many accusations, and it was another program that I was watching. I'm not even going to say their name because they might try and think that I'm trying to, give them a black eye. But there was a program I was watching where they mentioned about how Anne Marie, was signed to JayZ when she was 16. Allegedly, he liked to, sample the young goods. This is what they're saying allegedly happened. And they even asked Anne Marie, why did you get dropped from Rockefeller? She said, I don't know. My album did good. Maybe it's because, and then she stopped and said, I don't know why. But then now you have Jaguar Wright trying to show her how to get a Diddy stimulus check. Now, Anne Marie, right? I love her music and I love watching on Love and Hip Hop in LA, you know, with Ray J and, you know, Princess and, you know, everybody else. You know, I stopped watching it when they started bringing certain things on. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. And I think that's what kind of brought down the show. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But then now she sits there and they're talking about how Jay-Z was having intercourse with this young girl, you know. Then they're talking about how Diddy also had intercourse with this young girl, you know, not the same one, but another young girl, you know. And I'm going to try and refrain from saying certain names because I don't want these, you know, rat bastards, flip-flop wearing and public trolls to think that I'm trying to defend the individuals. What I'm defending is the culture. I'm defending our race because you have these things that has been happening for decades with other races, you know. I'm even going to call out a couple, you know, just to show you what I'm talking about. And they washed them under the rug. And I bet you 95% of the people watching this don't even know these people. We got Elvis Presley, who married Priscilla, you know. Balyal is how her name is pronounced, right? AKA she became Priscilla Presley, right? They met when she was only 14 years old and Elvis was 24 years old. They don't put that all in the media no more. So our generations that came after them don't even know about these alleged filthy indiscretions. Then we also got Jerry Lee Lewis. He married his 13-year-old second cousin. He was a pianist, a singer, a songwriter. They even named him the Killer. You know what I mean? And he was described as rock and roll's first madman. You know, that's Jerry Lee Lewis. They wash his alleged indiscretions under the rug as well. Not saying that we should wash, you know, the indiscretions of our peoples under the rug either, but I'm just showing you how our people took it to another level because of this social media and them giving a check for anything you could say as crazy and scandalous as you could think of. And then say the word allegedly in front of it after you done smeared our people. Then they also had Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was accused of a sex A also, you know what I mean, of a 12-year-old girl, right? He was a singer, right? And also considered as the greatest songwriter to this day. To this day, he's considered the greatest songwriter, you know? Then we have Bill Wyman. I know y'all don't even know these names, but that's because the European race, they hid their indiscretions so that they could keep, you know, their legacy intact the way it is. I even scrolled through to find pictures of them with these underage women, and I was lucky to find one picture of each that I showed. Now, Bill Wyman met Mandy Smith when she was 13, right? And he was 47 years old. He married her when she was 18 years old, and he was 52 years old. You see where I'm going with this? This is how the Europeans, you know, keep their people's legacy alive because it's only a handful that made it to become those entertainment legends, right? Bill Wyman, like I said, was 47 when Mandy was 13 when they met. They met in 1984, so that wasn't that long ago, and they got married June 2nd, 1989. Bill Wyman played the bass for one of what they call the greatest rock and roll bands of all time. He was the bass player for the Rolling Stones. You see where I'm at with this? You know? And y'all don't even know nothing about this. But then now you take our people, you understand? You take our people and you put them, you know, on social media and make accusations that the authorities did not even, you know, charge them with yet or make a move on. And we convict them in the social media world. Now, I was watching another video that popped up about Cameron and Melissa Ford. Cameron told a story about back in 1992 when he was 16 years old with him and Mace going to, you know, a sex house in Harlem, you know? And the story is a part of his history, and we have what they call freedom of speech, so he spoke on it. Now, he spoke on it, and then you had Melissa Ford go on the Joe Budden show that she's a co-host, and she made a statement saying that they may even have been underage girls there at the time of the story that Cameron gave when he too was underage. And to make it even worse, there was no proof of none of this, where Cameron had to take to social media to let it be known, hold up, you know what I mean? Because now you're trying to, you know, incite a surviving Cameron and Mace story. Mace, be careful what you're doing out there, brother, because I'm trying to save our people and enlighten our people so that we know where we at with this and where this can lead, because everybody is looking at today and not a decade later. I sat in the federal prison for 26 years, and that's why I'm so successful with telling these stories, because I sat on the sidelines and I watched all, you know, these different things play out and watch how America has shifted. Because when I got locked up, you know, I like to ride. You know, I like to ride. Because when I got locked up, like I said before, and I'm going to keep saying it because I know y'all remember that, when Rodney King was beaten by the LAPD and the LAPD was exposed, this is before social media, right? Someone was, you know, lucky enough that God put them in the place of the beating of Rodney King to have a big camcorder on their shoulder and film it. Now, that was God working to expose the LAPD. They showed the tape of how they beat him and beat him and beat him and beat him while he was down. And then they would go back and allegedly write a report saying that he was fighting back and, you know, he harmed them and their life was in danger and all of this. But they had the first videotape of the LAPD terrorizing and violating one of our people. This means black for the people that just come in, because I also do prison stories. Now, when that happened, then O.J. Simpson was tried for, you know, the demise of Nicole Simpson. When that happened, all the evidence to majority of the world, I'm going to say, looked at it and felt as if O.J. Simpson was guilty. But still, our people supported O.J., even though he made his millions, got the Heisman, did his thing in football, and instead of marrying a woman, he went and married a woman. So we looked at it in our urban society as he was a sellout, because that's the first time when, you know, our people was making it out of the hood, and then they went and as Kanye said, married a. You understand what I'm saying? That was the video that Tracy Ross was in that I'm referring to, just so you understand where I'm at. Now, with all of this going on, we still, as a people, as a race, held OJ down. I even seen someone put in the comments saying that, but or how they say it, but OG, Nicole was a woman. You know what I mean? And, Diddy and, did this to her. Like, that makes a difference what color. When you violate a woman, period, whatever color, race, creed, I don't care if she's from Mars, Venus, Jupiter, or even as far away as the furthest planet from the planet Earth, Pluto. And if y'all don't know, Pluto is the furthest planet and the coldest planet because it does not get the sun. It don't matter where the woman is from, you don't violate a woman, period. And you don't even defend, a man that violated a woman. So that's not what I'm doing. I'm not up here defending them. I'm speaking on defending our race, the same as I just mentioned Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, you know what I mean? Bill Wyman, you understand? And then you have countless others. Even, Spacey allegedly was accused of certain things and certain other people from our generation. But we have to learn to not condemn our people on these social media platforms just because they're giving us a check for views and for shock value. As crazy as the stories are you can make up to make somebody click it with a crazy thumbnail, you get a check. And right now, they just, because I'm riding, I'm a ride. Right now, I'm going to keep it 100. Times is hard. Times is hard for all of us. You know what I mean? All those regular folks. I ain't talking about the millionaire entertainers. Because do you know that to cross the Midtown tunnels to go into New York, they was charging $18 just to go through the tunnel. When I got locked up, they was charging like $3 to go through those same tunnels. Now it's $18. Now, they haven't raised the minimum wage in who knows when, right? But the price of everything went up, including oxtails. You know me, I'm Jamaican, so I like my oxtail and them things there. I used to get an oxtail plate for $10 and $12. Now you get an oxtail plate from the Jamaican restaurant or any restaurant for double that, $25, but minimum wage didn't go up. So you can't tell me times is hard. And then now the same tunnel that when I left in 1993 to go serve life plus 20 with no chance of parole, the toll was $3. Now it's $18. Now they just raised it to add another $15 to that $18, making it $33 to go through the Lincoln and Holland Tunnel from New Jersey. Come on. And minimum wage didn't go up. So how could they afford to pay an extra $15 to go through the Hollow and Lincoln Tunnel for your job? Where now if you go there 5 days a week and you spending, $15 extra, bad enough you was paying $18. Now you paying $15 extra to go through there. In 5 days, we talking about what, like $150 extra? You double that, we talking about $300. And then we double that for the 30 days, and we talking about $600. Oh, my math might be off, so you rat bastards, I did that for you to have room to go in the comments, because I know you get bored if you can't troll and wear your flip-flops in public, you little animal. Take that. Now, I say that to say that they offer social media where you could come on these platforms. I don't want to say what names because I'm also on this platform, but I'm not using it to tear down and ruin my people's legacy. like I see majority of the people doing. And then when you make a video speaking up about your people, they say you're defending an individual. No, I'm defending a race. I'm defending a culture, which is culture. Because I just gave you all these names of men that married and was dealing with 13-year-old children. Allegedly. We're just going to say that. But, you Google it, you know what I mean? Bob Dylan, Bill Wyman, Elvis Presley, you know what I mean? Jerry Lee Lewis, who married his first cousin. And you'll all see what I'm saying. I didn't want to get into it too much because I don't want to make it a race thing. I just want to make it that we have to support our people the same as other races support their people. And that's what this video is about. Now, for Melissa Ford to jump out there and make a statement as deflammatory with no evidence about one of our great rappers of the late 90s, Cameron. Killer Cam. We all love Killer Cam, But we always young. We grew up and we did certain things. Like he admitted he went to the H house, you know what I mean? With Mace. And this female actually went up there and said, oh, there were probably underage women in there. Why would you do that? And then she goes up there and a couple of days later, after she let it simmered, then she apologized after you done threw the stake out there for the people to want to jump on it. And then you had someone else, my nephew. My nephew. I'm not even going to say his name. You know who he is. He know who he is because it's not about bringing anybody down. But then my nephew went and said, is there anybody going to, hold it down? See the lone one on the mountain. Come on, dog. Don't get caught up in this social media money and tear down our people because in 10, 20 years, we won't have any black moguls because we're tearing them down. When here it is, 50, 60 years later, and we still have Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, Bill Wyman, Jerry Lee Lewis. That's held to the highest regard for their craft. Even after they allegedly married and was having intercourse with 13-year-old babies. And then to prove my point even more, Jaguar Wright went up there and it looked like, she was pleading to the people to believe her that JayZ is this monster, this diabolical monster. This is what one of our sisters is doing to one of our own without any proof, any evidence, or as you say today, no receipts.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Come on. Stop it, y'all. We're not going to have anyone for our children to look up to. And then y'all are going to say right there, because here go the rat bastards flip-flop wearing in public trolls, Oh, I don't want my kids to look up to them. But the Europeans have their kids looking up to Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, Bill Wyman, and Jerry Lee Lewis for their craft, for their talent. And you don't see all on social media people making videos about that. But listen, they made 1,000 videos about not only Diddy, Jay Z, they tried to bring, they tried to bring Jay Z in, and now they, Melissa Ford even tried to bring Killer Cam in this. That's one of my favorite rappers. And then Mace, let me talk to you because you was a pastor. And no disrespect to you or anybody, because like I said, I don't do the bashing on my channel. I just report the facts. Mace, you going at Diddy so hard with believing, what this lawsuit that Cassie put out say without, any evidence other than what she said and other than what other disgruntled ex-workers, ex-affiliates, ex-comrades had to say to slander Diddy's name because he made it out the crab barrel. Mace, Melissa Ford tried that with you and Cameron. So don't think that you're exempt from this. If y'all follow this pattern, allowing these disgruntled people to defame our people, you're not exempt. You see how fast Melissa Ford tried to throw you and Cameron under the bus and then came to apologize 2 days later after it done simmered. That's the same thing. Let me ride. That's the same thing like when I'm going to trial. Somebody come in there and, they said at the trial, he had a gun and he was known to, pistol whip women. He was known to pistol whip this one. He was known to do this. He was known to do that. And then the lawyer said, objection. There's no evidence of that. There's no receipt of that. And then the judge says overruled. But in the meantime, the jury already heard it. The social media viewers is the jury. So Melissa Ford, you got a chance to sneak in a low blow at someone as talented and great as Killer Cam and Mace when they were 16 themselves. But you throw it out there that they was with 16, they might have been 16-year-old women in there, and you waited a couple of days. Then you had a conversation with your boss, Joe Button. And I like Joe Button too. I think Joe Button is great. I saw the joint when he was proposing to Tahari down at Times Square, and and when he was on Love and Hip Hop, because when I was in prison, that's all I had to look forward to. I didn't watch no TV and call me a fool, but I watched Love and Hip Hop every Monday after I went to the law library 6 days a week, and 7 days a week, really. And then Monday nights, I go in and get my popcorn, my Kool-Aid, and cook my fried rice or my curry chicken, you know what I mean? And I sit in front of the TV and eat my meal with the rest of my comrades and see how our black people is evolving out there. And what I saw, I knew was leading up to what we have today. The women, as I watched Love and Hip Hop, was so disrespectful to the black man. So disrespectful to the black man. They told him to SMD. You don't even have a D to tell a man, much less a black man, to SMD. And they're doing this on national TV. And then when they had the little reunion, they up there fighting and carrying on, and it just aired everybody's dirty laundry, but it gave us in the prison and those that's living in rural areas that would never get a chance to be around these entertainers to see how they're living today, and it was a sad sight. And from them doing that and airing that, that was the first step towards what we have today. And what we have today is our black women jumping out there, degrading our black men. And then people grab their allegations, their accusations, and then they make a YouTube video about it, and then they add filth to it with no evidence, no nothing. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? We saw, let me ride. Let me ride. We saw when ex-President Donald Trump and y'all gonna hate me, but I'm gonna say it anyway, so you know that I'm not on no racist time. I feel that Donald Trump, and y'all could put it all in the comments if you don't like it, I feel that Donald Trump was one of the greatest presidents that we had during my lifetime that I witnessed. And the reason why I said it, and I say it again, is because he represented his base, which is another word for race. That's why he said, make America great again. Because he's looking out for his people. And if you want to join his people, then he looks out for you too. This man, when he was running for president, they released the tape when he started running up in the polls, when they still had him going against 7 people to see 17, other candidates to see if they was going to vote him in to be their candidate. They released the tape where, I forgot what the dude's name was, where he said, you see a female you like it, you just grab her by the crotch. You just grab her by the vagina. The man said this. And right there, Washington thought that he was through, but they didn't realize that America was tired of Washington playing the games and wanted an outsider in that could see where they're coming from. They understood Donald Trump's statement that he made. For the record, I don't agree with it. So don't say it, I'm saying I agree with it. But the point I'm making is his base, AKA race, still voted him in office. And when he got in office, he looked out for his base race. I'm not even going to go there, because I don't want to even bring that up, because y'all, I don't want to make that y'all think it's about race. But, this is where we at, man. Our black women have found a way to weaponize the SA law that they put in place. The same way they use the crack to put it in our communities so that dumb knuckles, you know what I mean? Like me and my comrades, to take it and poison our community and then make mandatory minimum laws to lock us away and throw away the key and give us draconian sentences, is the same way that they're now using the RICO law to lock up our young entertainers that made it out the hood, like the young man that's on trial for his freedom and his life right now, Young Thug down in Atlanta. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you really see where I'm going with this? And then now, you know what I mean? After the mandatory minimum laws, you know what I mean? After the RICO, now they got the SA law, where a woman could just say anything, and a man has an image, a bag of money, you know what I mean? And in order to silence it, to try and keep his legacy, the men settle the lawsuits. So that's the new Diddy stimulus. Remember that. That's the Diddy stimulus. That infuses, you know what I mean? Pump into, the female generation. Cassie walked away with over 100 million now. We got to give her a round of applause. We got to give Cassie a round of applause. We got to give Cassie a round of applause. All right, relax, y'all. Relax. You got to give her a round of applause. That woman walked away with 100 and something million. Now you have what you call, the cattle syndrome. When I was on the farm, because like I said, I like to ride. When I was on the farm, right? And I was in, jail in Jones Farm, New Jersey, connected to Trenton, where we had to milk the cows to, send the milk to the different prisons in New Jersey. And when we got out there, we had to shovel the crap that the cows, they sat there with their necks in a thing, so they couldn't move. They all side by side. And then next to them, right behind them, they had a little gully, a little pit. And when they defecated, go in it. So we had to go there every morning and shovel this. I know my people know what it's like being on a farm. We had to shovel the feces out of these little pits, and put it in a wheelbarrow and then take it outside because it's now fertilizer. And then we had to wash it down, and then we had to go get fresh hay and put it in it so that the cows could defecate on it. But then we also had to let the cows out for exercise. And this is where the cattle syndrome come in. They let the cows out to exercise, and they showed us which was the lead cow, which was the Cassie cow, which is the one that everyone's going to follow. They tell you that big black and white cow right there, he's trained to lead the pack. So when we let out these 100 cows, you don't have to run around chasing 100 cows to bring them back into the barn to strap them in so that, you could sit there and milk them. They said all you had to do was get the lead cow. And they had this sheepdog that used to chase this lead cow. You know what I mean? That's the lawyers. You know what I mean? The lawyers is the sheepdog. This lawyer was taught, this dog was taught to chase that lead cow back to the barn, and then the other 100 would follow. Those are the other SA, lawsuit alleged victims. Y'all getting a lot of Jews. That's why the Cash App is on the screen and they say, nigga, Reverend Ike, when you don't even get game like this from nowhere. Instead, you get, the black man did this, the black man did that, this rapper did this mogul did that. Come on. Look at the Jews you're getting. So that one cow would lead the way and the rest would follow. So Cassie led the way, no disrespect to her by comparing her with a cow. I'm just using that for the metaphor. Cassie led the way into the courtroom the same way the cow led the way into the barn and the others followed. And that's what we have now. The cattle syndrome going on with the SA. They even try to throw Killer Cam in there. And Mace, the pastor. So Mace, you Diddy this, Diddy that, Diddy this, Diddy that. That was your first warning to be careful. Even Melissa Ford jumped out there on you. So don't be surprised if others come, because we all know that during those times, we made a lot of mistakes. The same as Jerry Lee Lewis, the same as Elvis Presley, the same as Bill Wyman, and the same as Bob Dylan. So don't think you exempt from any of this. Luckily, we got Killer Cam to speak for you. Let's give a round of applause to Killer Cam. Let's give a round of applause to Killer Cam. Hold on. Hold on, man. Because Killer Cam went up there and expressed himself very well. And he even said, he made a statement about what Melissa Ford, alleged or ex-video vixen was doing in the bathroom with Ice-T. I'm not even going to get into it because I don't want to, say anything negative about our black women either. Other than what they're doing, is wrong. If you was violated, black women, white women, or any woman, you have a right to report it. But why all of a sudden, 30 years later, people is saying, back in 1992, he did this. He got $1 billion. I need some of that money. Come on. Wake up, people. In the next 20, 30 years, after you put our men that made it out the ghetto in prison, then we'll all be back to being workers and there won't be any bosses. Because you've incarcerated all of them with these allegations. If they're true, go through with it. But don't put a 10 on a 2 to go with it. Everybody's coming back with these old accusations from years ago. All of a sudden now everybody's talking about, they was essayed. because Cassie led the way. Now, make sure you cop my book of Raw in Harlem, like this video, subscribe this video, to this video, and share these videos. Because our people need to hear this message. And once again, before I tap out, this is not to defend our black men's alleged actions. This is just to let us know that I'm defending our race and our culture. And if one of us do something wrong, by all means, the female have a right and a duty to report it. But why is everybody reporting 30 years later? What happened yesterday? What happened last night? Why isn't there any recent cases? Why is everything so old? Not saying they're not true, but just giving you something to look through the depths of your mind and stop looking at it as, I don't like, Jay-Z because he got Beyonce. I don't like Jay-Z because he's a billionaire. I don't like Diddy because, he's a billionaire, almost a billionaire. I don't like Kanye because he charged me $1,000 for a pair of Yeezys. So therefore, I don't like Kanye. These are the things that's going on out here, why people is jumping on to attack our people. Stop and think, people. Let me tap out. I've been on here long enough. I want y'all to know that we really need to repent for the road that we're going down. Because like I said, these other races, they did far worse. Name one man that y'all going at. Well, yeah, you can name one. You know what I mean? I'm going to name him because like I said, I'm not going to be biased. They said R. Kelly allegedly married Aaliyah when she was 14 or 15 years old. So he fits into that category. But that's why justice caught up to him. That receipt was there. But all these other things they put on Surviving R. Kelly. Now I saw a video on YouTube called Surviving JayZ. JayZ don't even talk. He stays out the media. If y'all have something on JayZ, bring it to the peoples. That's how it is. And let, your court of law determine what it is. But other than that, why is everybody making Surviving JayZ? They're going to do Survive. It actually said Surviving JayZ. Now they're trying to do Surviving Diddy. You see what these surviving videos do. These surviving videos, they give the authorities all of these alleged accusations, you know what I mean, in a nice gift wrap box to take them into a grand jury and indict our people on any allegations that they state. Not saying that they're true or not true. I just want y'all to understand what is going on and how detrimental this is. And it's ironic how Melissa Ford jumped out there on Cam and Mace like that. And Mace is one of our heroes. He made it to be a pastor. And he down in Atlanta doing good, preaching the word of the Lord. And they went at Mace, man. And Cameron. And they was both 16. She didn't know that when she jumped out there. But she already put it out there to have these people grab these clips and make all these videos. But on the strength of that, let me tap out because I've been on here long enough, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video. Oh, yeah. And go back and look at my other videos because all of it is great jewels and content coming from a whole nother level than trying to slander my people. I don't talk bad about any of my people. If you look at my videos, I don't do that. One clown jumped out there and started saying things about me, and I responded, but not even saying his name, and I had a chance to shut down his channel and refused to do it because I'm not going to stop a black man's bag. But black men and women, let's stop trying to stop other people's bag without receipts, evidence, or a court of law. Because that's what the Constitution is about. Let's keep it moving. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back to the youth them, cause they the truth them, and bless up to all the root men.